All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles at Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect in the 1/3. The Lord's with this lesson will be edifying as well as encouraging to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, and Tawada Yah, Bahashem, Yahushai. Bahashem Rachakwadash for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. And as the title reads, they argue all can be saved while ignoring the elect or the elect. Okay. And I just want to do a real quick lesson. You know, this thought came to my mind. I was watching, let me make sure the audio is good. I was watching this right here. Deacon Akah was on Sadnetta's platform, and it was a good video. Okay, all right, it was a good video. Like Elder Pastor Har said, when you do good, we'll credit you. Okay, and Deacon Akah did very well defending the doctrine. Okay, that salvation is for Israel, while you see the other Jakes arguing differently. These in particular Jakes right here, they're arguing about all can be saved. He knows he's an Israelite. I believe he knows he's an Israelite, but they were arguing about how Revelations, the 7th chapter, includes all nations, which is a very, very simple explanation to break down. But one thing that I noticed was this in particular, Jake, I believe he believes he's Kemen or something. He used Revelation 7, but I got it paused right here because I believe Sadnetta has his videos monetized, so I don't want to play it and get any kind of copyright or whatever. You can watch it if you want. It's around the 51 minute mark, but he skips right past how who were sealed was 144,000. They skipped right past that. So when you have the aspect of arguing about all can be saved, one thing that I noticed no one mentions or drives home is the fact that, wait a minute, before you talk about all can be saved, why are we acknowledging the 144,000 clearly that are going to be saved? Clearly, okay? And those are what? Israelites. And I want to go into that. But before I make that point, I also want to make mention of this. Sadnetta is nothing more than, I think it's Act 7, but let's just put Mars Hill. This is nothing more than Mars Hill, okay? So I also like to always add in, when it comes to our people, even in their wickedness, they're proving that we're the people. Okay, right here. See, Acts 17 and 22. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. And that's what exactly the house of unconsciousness is it's just men that are very religious in their own superstitions. Okay, but even in Jake's wickedness, they show you we're living in Acts again. We are those people, okay? Even in our wickedness, you can see how we are the people. We don't just need the curses, but we use the curses, okay? Don't get me wrong, but we also use our spirit bearing witness, and we see that right here. So let's get right into it. I do want to make mention of that. I do want to drive that home and push that vibration for us while we're teaching. And we've been taught that by our elders is the elect, the elect, the elect. So when somebody talks about who salvation's for, immediately let's acknowledge that who we read about salvation's for is the elect, okay, is 144,000. Literally, the earth is not to be hurt until 144,000 Israelite men are sealed. I find that very intriguing. I find that very edifying when it comes to the aspect of who can be saved. Well, it's like, okay, before we question who can and can't, let's read who's prophesied to be saved. Now, before I do that, let's clear the air. Okay, when anyone is asking, when anyone uses this precept, which he does, okay, he uses Revelation 7. That's why he's quoting this, and he uses the 9th chapter to add an avenue or a doorway for anyone and everyone to receive salvation. But a simple click into the word kindred explains it all, because even though we're reading it in English, this is translated from what? Greek. Okay, so Revelation 7 and 9, let's prove it real quick. After this, I beheld and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations. So by face value, yes, this sounds like salvation is for anyone and everyone. And I'll say this, salvation is for anyone and everyone if their line goes back to an Israelite. Okay. And it says of all nations and kindred. Now, actually, I just saw, I'm going to go into that. I just saw this picture. Let me put Japanese, watch this, Japanese actor, Fast and Furious. Now I want to show you something right here. This guy. Now I just seen a picture of this guy. Let's put what's his name? Sung Kang, and let's put father. I want to see if this is correct right here. Okay, so it says Fast and the Furious actor Sung Kang Han with his family. It says his stepdad. Okay, so they're saying it's his stepdad. I wanted to double check. So, but this is a good example to show you how Jake is everywhere. And I'm to assume this is his sister, which now that means what? The father slept with his Moabite or Ammonite mother, and then they produced this young lady right here who's clearly an Israelite. So why am I using this? To show you that the reason why it says all nations is because you have Israelites amongst all nations that are going to come from all nations, believing on the doctrine, believing on the gospel. Even in the time of Yahushai's return, you're going to have believers, because remember, Psalms 10 says, in the day of thy power, thy people shall be willing. So there's a lot of Israelites that are going to, quote unquote, be converted in the arrival of Yahushai based on the prophecy of power alone. But this is to show you right here, okay? So, and there's many other examples we can go to, but that one just came to mind because I just seen that this morning, so it was fresh in my mind. So now that we got that, I'm proving it face value, but I'm going to prove it further. Of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now, when you go into this word kindred right here, okay, just a simple click. So when you go into this word kindred, it's going to sum it all up. We didn't make the Blue Letter Bible. All right, right here, the word kindred, because you have kindreds amongst all nations. The word kindred means in the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. So right there, that alone proves to you that even the precept that someone will use, arguing all can be saved, even within the all are going back to a patriarch descending from one of the 12 sons of Jacob. So that alone right there proves it. But he was using this precept. But what got me most was the fact that in the same breath that you're arguing about who all can be saved, you just skip past who is prophesied to be saved, and that is the elect, literally. Okay, that's a very big deal. Wait a minute. No matter what, okay, because you can push the Jesus and this and that and the Christianity and all that. But no matter what, we see here that there are 144,000 elect Israelite men guaranteed salvation, literally right off the jump. Okay, which that makes my mind go in 100 other places, because right after that, if this is who salvation is for, or the first fruits of salvation, then that lets me know that in the kingdom, the elect Israelite men are going to be the progenitors of other elect Israelites being born back in the kingdom, which then lets me further know that the Christianity doctrine proves that it can't be just anybody and everybody, because there are elect Israelites that are being preserved to continue the lineage of Israelites in the kingdom, which will be on earth. You see that? So this alone proves a lot of things. How can you get past this? There's not 144,000 elect Moabites or Gentiles. It's literally Israelite men. See that? Now let's start at the top. Let's actually read this in the NLT. Okay. I find this to be a very good angle. Revelation 7:1. Then I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds, so they did not blow on the earth or the sea or even on any tree. Now, what are these 4 winds? Let's actually talk about that. Let's go to Jeremiah, a very prophetic book, a prophetic book of judgment upon what? Babylon. This is Jeremiah 50, or Jeremiah, what do I want? Or Jeremiah 51. Yes, Jeremiah 51:1, it says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. We're in Babylon right now. We're in Babylon. It's September 1st, 2024 AD or 2024 CE, depending on your belief. But yes, we are still in the common era. Okay. It says, against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. That destroying wind is the same destroying wind that was created in Isaiah, the 54th chapter, that prophecy being fulfilled of the nuclear warheads. All right. Watch the movie Oppenheimer. I just happened to watch that the other day, which was a good movie. It was a lot of dramatization. I skipped past a lot of it, but I got the meat out of it. But it was a good movie pertaining to what? Prophecy. I like watching movies pertaining to prophecy. That's what we're here for. We're awoken because of prophecy. We're waiting upon prophecy, and we are being inspired by the spirit of prophecy, which is the testimony of Yahweh Shai. So the destroying wind that's being held back here in Revelation 7 is the prophetic destroying wind that will destroy this continent, Babylon, what people call America. What do you say? Do you want to come to America? Not if you know the prophecies. But why are we here in America? Because we believe that we're going to be delivered from Babylon, as it says in the scriptures. I believe in Micah. So Revelation 7:2. So now we hear, okay, the destroying wind is being held back for a specific reason. That's very important. Can a Gentile say that? Can a Gentile Christian, a Edomite Gentile Christian say that God is holding back the destruction because he's waiting for you to utter out your mouth that you believe Jesus died and rose again? No, they're not going to say that. Okay. And they're also not going to acknowledge that for the elect. Acknowledge the elect. You know, that's what I feel stirred in my spirit. I feel offended that the elect is not being made mention enough. With all this talk of who can be saved or questions of who can be saved, why are you skipping past the prophetic salvation for the Lord's precious elect? Okay. And elect men at that. It says, I saw another angel, Yahweh Shai, Shiloh, coming up from the east carrying the seal of the living power. And he shouted to the four angels. So he yelled at them, very important, who had been given power to harm land and sea. Wait, don't harm the land or the sea or the trees until we have placed the seal of Yahweh on the foreheads of his servants. And I heard how many were marked with the seal of Yahweh. 144,000 were sealed from all the tribes of Israel. So there are 144,000 sealed Israelite men on planet Earth. Okay. Now, well, just to save face, can some of these elect already be in the spirit realm? Yeah, absolutely. But you understand the point that I'm making here, that there is 144,000 sealed Israelite men, no matter what. Okay. The elect is the elect, and the destruction will not come until the elect are sealed first. So that's very, very important. And I notice Christians do not talk about that, emphasize that, or go into that. And then when that question is brought up to us, I feel that is something that needs to be addressed first and foremost. Wait a minute. Well, let me just say this. When we talk about salvation, do you know that there's 144,000 Israelite men guaranteed salvation first and foremost before you go into all nations, kindreds, and tongues? Do you understand that? Do you understand that there is a predestinated remnant, a very small remnant? Let me get that. Okay. That comes out of Israel, which proves to you that salvation starts with Israel first. Because what does it say? Now I got to get two. I got to get Isaiah and Romans. It's all coming in my mind. So let me get Isaiah before I forget that. And then now let's go to Romans real quick. Romans, what is that? 1:16. Let me get this. This is Romans 1:16. It says, for Paul said, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach. Like, we're not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to tell you that just because you're not on the 12 tribes chart doesn't mean you can't be delivered or saved. I actually would feel upset not letting you know that, because, and that's Yahweh Shai putting it on our spirit to be anointed to preach the gospel, because that is extremely important. Because who are we to deny the acknowledgement of salvation to the Lord's people, right? It says, right, let me say this too. Even for the aspect of white Eurocentric Christianity, you're complete assholes. Just like the law-abiding Israelite, you're a complete asshole to deny salvation to an Israelite based on in particular requirements. Listen to this. Let me tell you something right now. No matter what an Israelite does on planet Earth, even up to taking the MOTB, they still will be in the kingdom, not meaning they will be delivered by Yahweh Shai, but when they come back on earth, they will get their rightful place in the kingdom as Israelites. So no matter what, no matter if they believe in who you call Jesus, no matter if they believe in Yahweh Shai, no matter if they don't live by the laws, no matter if they take the MOTB, 2/3 will be back in the kingdom in their rightful place. And guess what? They'll be of the elect, Isaiah 45:17, Israel my elect, and they will be further of the elect because they will be coming from the loins of the elect. So we're going to be in the kingdom, and our precious wives are going to bear our sons and daughters, that they may be 2/3. They're not going to be treated like a 2/3. They're going to be treated like an elect because they come from the loins of the elect. See that? So, hey, don't be letting these people try to be a bearer of bad news. All right. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation to everyone that believeth. Yeah, of course. Why is Paul saying this? Because Paul has been set up to be a beautiful vessel to gather the Lord's people that were scattered in other nations. If you just say Israel only, but you have an Israelite that don't know they're Israelite, they're going to immediately think that it's not for them. Like, hey, no, this is for you too. This is for you too. Don't feel because you don't got broad phylacteries or fringes on or no precepts or scriptures, this ain't for you. That's why it says the Spirit bears witness. See? And it said, and let me just say this, the elect didn't even know that they were the elect. All right. The elect born here in Babylon, we all being of the hopeful elect, we were all born as Gentiles. You see that? And it says, to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. See, to the Israelite first and also to the Greek. But this is that small remnant. Okay, let me get this. What did I want? Isaiah 1:9. Let me get that real quick. I think I already pulled it there. Isaiah 1:9, it says, except the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts, had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah. So Jake needs to thank the Lord for not only Yahweh Shai, but the prophetic rebuilding of the house of David that's told in the book of Malachi. I rebuild the house of David of old, so that's the house of David. What's the elect? The house of David. Okay. So this is a very important piece of the puzzle to our salvation when it comes to the aspect of being delivered, especially as us as a nation of people. So why are we, okay, I'm saying hypothetically, why are we skipping past the 144,000 guaranteed deliverance of Israelite men, but you'll argue who can be saved, but you're acknowledging who is going to be saved, okay? Now, we also have the elect, which is within the 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children. Absolutely. But let's not skip over the fact that before the destruction comes, the sealment of the Lord's elect starts with the 144,000 Israelite men, 12,000 from each tribe, 12,000 Judites, Reubenites, Gadites, Asherites, Naphtalites, Manassites, Simeonites, Levites, Ishkarites, Zebulunites, Ephraimites, okay, because remember in Genesis, Ephraim is synonymous with Joseph, because what did Jacob say? He said, Ephraim and Manasseh will be unto me as Simeon and Reuben, I think. What's that? Genesis, it's 48. Let me read that real quick. Israel's last days. Look, see, his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Here's Joseph. Now watch. Let's go down right here. This is Genesis 48:5. And now thy two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee in Egypt, are mine. Jacob is saying they are my sons, as Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. See that? Because Joseph is of the 12 sons, but because Joseph was sent into Egypt, which ultimately led to us going into Egypt to fulfill the vision that was given to Abram about us being in bondage in Egypt, and that got fulfilled. So because Jacob didn't grow up with Ephraim and Manasseh, so Jacob brought them in to his lineage as Reuben and Simeon. And matter of fact, Manasseh's right here. See that? Manasseh's there. Dan's not there. Ephraim's not there, but Joseph there. So Joseph is interchangeable with Ephraim. But the point is right here, you talk about salvation, the guaranteed salvation that we know is going to be 12,000 from each tribe. So this cuts a lot. Okay, this proves that Amalek is not the people where they're elect at. This proves Christianity don't got the truth because they don't go into this elect either, or they'll give a weak ass breakdown of replacement theology. Now, let's also get Matthew 24, and then let's go into a little bit of Google, what they got to say about the 144,000, and that'll be the lesson. So, Matthew 24, I was thinking about the house of David. Matthew 24 and 30, let's see real quick. Yep, right here. Look at this. Yep. This is Matthew 24 and 31. It says, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. See that? Christians don't go into the elect. They go into the body of believers. But wait a minute. Before we go into about salvation, you talk about I'm saved. Well, do you know that who's guaranteed salvation is the 144,000 Israelite men? Do you know that? It says to gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, proving why it says all nations, kindreds, and tongue, because the elect is scattered from all nations, kindreds, and tongue. A majority of the elect is where? Here in Babylon. And what is the elect doing? Teaching, preaching, and prophesying, being anointed with the gospel. Okay? The elect have a certain fruit of the spirit that we are seeing. Okay? So now that I said that, let's go into this. I put in who are the 144,000 Revelation. It says the 144,000 of Revelation are described as faithful people. No, it should say faithful Israelites, okay, who have been redeemed from earth and are first fruits to Yahweh and the Lamb. They are mentioned in Revelation 7 and 14. Some interpretation of who the 144,000 is. Look, Israelite evangelists. That's true. Some believe, and let me just say, how the frick, all right, I've been working on my language. How the hell can you say some believe? It says all the tribes of Israel. There ain't no some, this is 12,000 from Judah, Reuben and Gad. They're here. This is why Genesis 49, Gad, a troop shall overcome you, but at the last ye shall overcome that troop. It's literally, okay, it's literal lineage Israelites, all right, that they're skipping past. You go into all who can be saved, but you skip past who's guaranteed salvation. See, they always want to talk about the up in the air questions. Let's talk about the foundation. Let's talk about what's laid, though. See, everybody wants to talk about up in the air situations, but they don't want to talk about what's the guarantee. There's guaranteed 144,000 Israelite men that will be delivered. And then the 1/3, the house of David, not the house of consciousness, the house of David, which does consist of men, women, and children. And we acknowledge that. We acknowledge the salvation for sisters and children. Okay. Now, let me go back to this. It says some believe the 144,000 are Israelite evangelists, which is true. With the Israelite evangelists, the gospel, teachers, pushers, preachers, right? Who were recently converted. That's true. And sent to bring sinners to Yahushua Mashiach during the tribulation period. Now, I don't know if they're using the tribulation period to refer to the so-called 7-year trib, which is not true. But through much tribulation, we will enter into the kingdom. But right now, sinners are being brought to Yahushua by the way of the gospel of hearing the good news. Okay. It says Israelite Christians, we are Israelite Christians as well because we believe on the anointed. All right. Prentice believes that the 144,000 are Israelite Christians who were sealed for deliverance from the destruction of 70 AD. No, because that the 70 AD wasn't a destroying wind. Okay, 70 AD wasn't destroying wind. It was the great falling away of the Israelites, which proved Yahushua saying, I will be with you in the ends of the earth, and Genesis 49. Hence why we had to come to Babylon so the prophecies for Babylon could be fulfilled. So wrong again. All redeemed. Other interpret the 144,000 to refer to all redeemed people, both Jews and Gentiles. Why then did the 144,000 specifically say of their respective tribes and not just 144,000 people? These people's interpretations are garbage. What does it say in there's no private interpretation? Is that First Peter's or Second Peter's? I'm leaning towards second. Let me see. First Peter's 1 and 19. Yup. This is 2 Peter's 1 and 19. We, body of believers, you brothers, you few sincere sisters, we ain't speaking French here. We have also a more sure word of prophecy. Ain't no maybes in Hebrew. Okay. We know. All right. This is why we speak with confidence. All right. We speak with authority. Didn't it say Yahweh Shai spoke with authority? Now, because we're in Babylon, I have to put Jesus in. Spoke with authority. That's what I want. And then guess what? Who the hell is that? Who is that? Who the hell is this? This is white Eurocentric Christianity at its finest. This is Revelations 20 at its finest. This is 2 Thessalonians at its finest, right in front of your face. Who the hell is this? This Al Pacino in his young days? What are we watching? Taxi Driver here? I'm being funny. Matthew 7:29. Let's go to the Bible Hut, NIV, because he taught as one who had authority. Do we not teach with authority? Mark 13:34 tells us we've been given authority. Matthew 10 said he gave us power with that authority because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law. See, we teach with authority and not as their teachers of just the law. See that? Big difference. Now, where are we at here? Back in this? Okay. God's pure servants, John 4:23. Some believe the number and order of the tribes in Revelation represent the totality of God's pure and redeemed servants from all time and all over the earth. These are weak ass breakdowns. Oh, I was in Peter's. Let me go back. Excuse me. Where was I? I was in Peter. There it is. 2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed. See, we do well. Okay, let's actually look this word well up. It reminds me of wholesome. Okay, let's see what this word well means. So when you go into this word well, beautifully, finely, excellently, well, rightly, show you right, excellent, noble, commendably. I commended them that stood so swiftly for the name of Yahweh Shai. That's right. Honorable, in honor, in a good place, comfortable. We're comfortable over here. You know what he's saying? Training day, you comfortable? We say, yeah, we comfortable. We're comfortable with this doctrine. We're comfortable with the breakdown. We're comfortable calling on the name of Yahweh Shai, okay? Through the Holy Spirit, we are good over here with the doctrine that's been laid, all right? Barakatah Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're comfortable to speak well of one, to do good, to be well. Oh, look, see? Of those recovering health, wholesome. See, I heard wholesome in my head. See that? So let's go back. Finish it off. It says, ye do well that take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, right? The whole earth is in gross darkness, but the light is shining upon us until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts, right? If this gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are blinded, but until Yahweh Shai should shine unto them. So Yahweh Shai shined on us. Remember the day you woke up? Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. That's all you got. That's all they got is private interpretations. All you people got is private. Look at all these private interpretations. Some believe this, some believe that. No, we believe one faith, one sound, one baptism, one breakdown. Okay. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scriptures is of any private interpretation, for the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, right? Like Hananiah, Jeremiah 28, in 2 years, we're going to get out of here. No. But holy men of Yahweh, who these holy men? The elect. But holy men of Yahweh spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. And that's what happens. This is our inspiration. We are moved by the Holy Spirit to speak unto you. Okay. Now let's go back, see what else they got. The 12 apostles and the 12 tribes of Israel. Some believe the 144,000 represents the 12 apostles of the Lamb multiplied by what the see, I got to watch my language. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's so hard to believe that what's so hard to believe that the 12,000 is referring to 12,000 Israelite men from the 12 tribes? It's like they hate the fact that Israel's chosen. And see, that's what white Eurocentric did. It effed your head up. All right. You're effed up in the head, man. Okay. You're trying to find ways to add your silly ass in there. And instead of just acknowledging it. And that's another thing for you Christians out there. Why don't you acknowledge the Lord's people? And then if you do, you acknowledge those weirdo ass jumping around people wearing all black in the land that ain't even theirs. You got a problem that we are of the elect. You got a problem that we are chosen. But we could be chosen by the Cowboys. We could be chosen by the Chicago Bulls, but we can't be chosen by the Lord. Damn. What did Jake say? The hate is real. But, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. This was just pressed on my spirit. I wanted to go into it. So when they always talk about who can be saved, who can be delivered, wait a minute. Let's acknowledge the 144,000 that's going to be delivered. And let's end it off with the elect Israelites that are also mentioned in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. What about that? Is this a talk about any of you? Notice how we go to scripture specifically speaking about the nation of Israel, and they do not. I'm going to go to Galatians. All right, well, let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go into the meat of the matter. This is Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. We say Bahashem Yahushai because there's no mediator to Yahweh but one, and that is Yahushai. All right. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. See that? Through the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a people before a place. So wherever the people are, that is the place. Ezekiel 5:5. Thus saith the Lord power. This is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. So wherever we're at, that's Jerusalem. We're in Jerusalem right now in the spirit. Okay. We are Jerusalem. All right. It's a people before it's a place. But you got people in that place right now that ain't they people, but they think they are the people because they in that place. And since I said that, let's get Ezekiel 36 really, really quick. Okay. Let me show something real quick. Ezekiel 36:5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Edom, Idumea, which have appointed my land, Jerusalem, into their possession with the joy of all their heart. Lord Rothschild, it's with my great pleasure to let you know that we done got the land. See, Balfour Declaration, they declared it, but that don't mean that's the people, okay? Esau has power and deception depending on the time period it was laid and given. Okay, people don't give a shit now about truth that happened years ago because they got all this folly in front of them. That's why folly said in great dignity, for you to keep believing a lie and not to have energy towards the truth. Okay, it gives you pleasure. It says, which have appointed my land into their possession with all the joy of their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. See? So just because those people are in the land don't mean that those people are the people just because they're in that land, because the true people of that land are and do represent Jerusalem wherever they go. Okay, which we had Ezekiel 5:5. The people were people before a place. So now let's go back to the initial point. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, wherever we're at. This don't mean this has to be in literal Jerusalem. The Lord was dealing with us before we went to the land of Jebus. Before it was called Jerusalem, what was it called? Jebus. Okay. And it says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of. And that mark is exemption from judgment, just like the seal that's put on the 144,000 to be delivered before what? The destroying wind. So when you want to talk about salvation, acknowledge the elect first, and not only the elect, the 144,000 out of the elect, which does consist of 12,000 Israelite men from their respective tribes. Okay. So when you bring up salvation, you better acknowledge the Lord's elect. Okay. Which is the 12,000 Israelite men. So just want to do that quick lesson. I was just listening to this debate right here. Okay, I was listening to them talk and, bring their rhetoric. And I said, wait a minute. Why don't you talk about the elect? How are you skipping past those that are sealed? And before I end, respectfully, let's just see what this word seal means. Now, I'm in the NLT, so let's go to the KJV real quick. The Spirit's still on me, so I just got to keep going. Where is this word sealed? Till we have sealed in their foreheads. And seal what? The name. Because I believe the KJV says sealed the Father's name. Oh, matter of fact, let me get that for you too, Nate. Okay, let me get that real quick. Revelations 14. What about that? Another cut. Look at all these cuts. The Lamb and the 144,000 of Mount Zion. It says, and I looked, and lo, a Lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 Israelite men, having his Father's name written on their foreheads. What? The Father's name? But you got people telling us we don't got the name, but here we see the elect with the name. What's going on here? Someone is lying. All right. And it ain't us. So now I just want to see what this word sealed means, and then we're out of here. So when you go into the word sealed, let's see. Got a spirit of curiosity upon me. The words to set a seal. Oh, Mark, Ezekiel 9, the wa, Mark, for security from Shaitan, the wadi abashmal shai, in order to mark a person, to set a mark upon. So, while the world is going to have to deal with the mark of the beast, the elect is going to have the mark of Yahweh Shemel Shai to fight against it, which is why Revelations 3:10 says, I will deliver you from that hour of temptation. Look, to confirm, authenticate. So the elect is authentic. written document placed beyond doubt to prove one's testimony to a person that he is what he professes to be. Wow. So the elect is extremely important, and the elect is put in high regard in the spirit realm of Yahweh Shem Shai. So, hey, for you brothers out there that are of the hopeful elect, and I add myself into this, we got to stop beating ourselves up, okay? You know, we don't walk around with pride, but we do have a spirit of faith and boldness in Yahweh Shem Shai, and it's time to acknowledge that, okay? On a spiritual aspect, not pride, you know, not before the congregation, but in our walk in the spirit, you know, because the elect is out here and the elect will be delivered. All right, the 144,000 Israelite men, and also the 1/3, which does consist of men, women, and children. So we need to start acknowledging the elect when the aspect of salvation and who it can be saved is brought to the table. Let's talk about it. You mean the elect? Well, if they say salvation, you say, oh, you talking about the elect? You mean the elect, right? Because the only ones that says in the Bible are going to be saved is the elect. So are you referring to the elect? Because if you're referring to the elect, let's go into that in Revelation 7. Let's start at 1. No, don't jump to 9. Let's start at 1, and we find out that the consistency that pertains to salvation starts with the Lord's elect. If they bring up salvation, bring up elect. So I'm going to end it there. I pray this lesson was edifying, encouraging. I just want to say, call halal, Yahweh ba'ashem Yahushai ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. Peace and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, shalom.